Hi, I'm Jeremy, and today I'm going to take a look at the second in my series on 4 videos on the Brettspiel Advent Calendar 2016 contents. And this is a collection of 24 promos for various games, so 24 different games. And I just wanted to give you a run through of what are in each of these promos. So this will be a spoiler if you've bought this and you'd hope to open it, one day at a time over the course of December, which is I think how this is intended to be used. But I wanted people to have information about what was included and what the various promos do. So I've done the first 6 already, so I'll move on to number 7, and this is for Guilds of London, and you can see here, and that's a game that I have not played yet. I've actually bought it and I'm hoping to get it to the table soon, but I haven't had a chance to play it. And it looks like it is 2 additional guilds, and it looks like one of them you need to have 2 different things, the other 2 the same things to go there, to place there with your worker. But the real catch of these, I guess they're the Cheesemaker and the Papermaker guild. The real catch you could see is that they are wild guilds, and you leave one of your markers there when you place, so you determine which guild you'd like that to count for. So those are 4 Guilds of London. The second promo, or the 8th, I guess, as the case may be, is for Loretta, and it's just this one little gift tile. And, Loretta has so many small little promos like this. I don't know how anybody could possibly collect them all. But this one, like in typical Michael Schock fashion, he's the designer, it says on the instructions, this expansion is only allowed to be played on Christmas. And essentially what happens is the first person who fills their 6 enclosure space in the zoo gets to claim this tile, and then whenever they do the money action to discard a tile, they get to place it on here, and at the end of the game they will get 1 point for every tile they have on this this gift. So it's a really small expansion, but I think it's cute. It's within the holiday theme, and I'm not sure how viable that would be as a strategy. You would need a lot of money, I think, to pull that off. Number 9. Number 9 is for Saboteur. That's one of my favorite hidden trader games. It's an old one, but it's one that I think more people should pay attention to because there's some actual game there, unlike a lot of those werewolf type games. So my biases aside, this actually seems like an interesting expansion for Saboteur. It essentially gives you these 2 dwarves, which at the start of the game, everyone will get one of these gold nuggets, and on your turn, instead of playing cards, you could just discard a card out of your hand, and you don't draw up, so it reduces your hand size, but then you get to place one of these dwarfs onto a card space. So in that game, people are building tunnels using cards, and if a player then wants to build through that space, they essentially need to give you one of these gold coins, which will be worth 1 point to you at the end of the game. The really interesting part of it, and let me just give you a close-up, hopefully lighting's okay. The really interesting part of that is that if you do not have a gold nugget, you could recruit somebody else to give you their gold nugget. So in a game with hidden roles, that I think could lead to some really interesting situations. I'm looking forward to trying that out, because it doesn't add a lot to the rules, but it could add a lot in terms of player interaction. The next one is for a game that I have not played, Crisis, and I'll just show you the promo here. And this is called the Game Designers, and it looks like these are 2 employees, and I assume employees are a type of character in that. From reading the rules, it says that these just get shuffled into the basic employee deck, and it says they could just be claimed like any other, and they may be used to fill any necessary employee position in a company card. So those of you who have played the game probably know what that means. It sounds like they are wild employees, those crazy game designers. So that is what the promo is for Crisis. Number 11 is for Meisterium, and this is probably the simplest one to explain. It's simply another vision card that the person who's playing the ghost gets to have, and I'll give you a nice good look at that, I hope. And this is just another card that would get shuffled into the deck that the ghost player would be able to give players clues with. So it's vaguely Christmassy. I don't know. It looks like a shark scissors cutting what looks like a Christmas tree. Maybe it's vines, but I guess Meisterium is a game all about interpretation anyhow. So the last one that I will show you, number 12, is Imhotep, and that's a recent game that I like rather a lot. It was a Spiel des Jahres nominee, and this is a series of 4 boats, so each player is going to get one of these boats, which are essentially personal boats. You can see they correspond to the player colors. On your turn, you could add a cube to that, and you only get to do this once per game, but then you could choose to sail that to an area where either a communal ship has sailed or not. And each round, one of these personal ships plus one communal ship could sail to each space. So even if a space has been blocked and you somehow did not have one of your cubes on there and you really need to get there, this is a way around that. So that could be a pretty consequential change in a game where the scoring tends to be really tight. So this is actually a really good expansion, I would think, and it just gives you one more small choice that only is going to affect one turn throughout the game, but again, it could be a big point swing if you use it wisely. So that is probably one that I would play with every time I'd play Imhotep in the future. So those are expansions 6 through 12. Hopefully this is useful. I'm not sure if I'm giving a lot of detail to those of you who aren't familiar with these games already, but I've played most of these games, and I could assure you that I could imagine where these would be fun little expansions. So those are my thoughts on expansions 6 through 12 of the Brettspiel Advent Calendar 2016, and I will upload 2 more videos to show you the rest.